Alright, not really too sure where to start with this one, so I'm just going to show you the mirrors. And trying to explain it to you to start off with. I've installed folding mirrors from a Estima Emina, which is these guys here. And the chrome covers are something else that I got later. Actually, I had the chrome covers before the mirrors, but it's a different story. So that's the original mirror. Now you can see that there's 3 wires on here, and there's 2 bolt holes there, and the bolt holes line up exactly the same with both mirrors, Tarago and Estima Emina. However, the Emina does drop down, does have a deeper bottom on it, but that's no big deal. On the right hand side, the driver's side, I've had to drill a hole in this mount here to match it up, because there is a pilot hole section on the top part. When you're putting the mirror back on, it's got to slide into this section here. And with the passenger side, the left side, I had to replace this whole bar, or whatever you call that, dressing there. I've had to replace the whole section. I didn't need to drill any holes because I replaced the dressing and everything just went in. And basically the left side was easier to do than the right side, because I just had to replace parts on the left side, and it just went together quite easily. Now the trick to getting these guys off is there's a screw behind the ends, and there's another one behind here. Currently I don't have the keys in the ignition, so I can't wind the window down to show you, but there is another screw about here that's holding this side here on. It's not there. So, and that's how it's going to sit. I don't know why the mirrors are positioned differently, but the driver's side actually sits on the a little bit more forward than the other side. You see this side here, so it's sitting back about 1.5 inches. I guess that's just so it makes it easier for the driver to see that mirror, but I would have just assumed that it would have been just as easy to make the driver's side that 1.5 inch further back as well, just to keep it even. But either somebody's thinking too much or somebody's not thinking enough. I don't know when they made this. So anyway, that's pretty much what you need there. Make sure you get those dressings, these things here, I don't know what they're called. Make sure you get them. I just noticed mine's broken. It wasn't when I did this. I don't know why that's even broken like that. I don't like that. You do something and then find out later that something's broken. Anyway, so this is the new plug here. This is the old plug. It has 3 wires. The new plug has 7 wires. The 3 in the middle is the same. Brown, red, black there, but they changed the colour code from one side of the plug to the other side. And these 3 wires here are the same. Well, no, sorry, the brown, red, black are the same as the original, and they wire in exactly the same way. So I'll start off with that, wiring them in, replacing this plug here with this bottom part of the plug here. So make sure if you get these mirrors that you do get the bottom connection to replace this one. And then following doing that, I'll wire up the folding mirror, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here with a couple of diodes. Okay, so I've got the 3 wires that was that controls the mirror up, down, sideways, all connected. And now you got the, probably going to repeat this a few times, you got the 7 wires here. Now, important thing to know here is what polarity goes where. So on to fold the mirror in, you got positive goes on the blue, negative goes on the white, and on the to fold it out, positive goes on the green, negative goes on the yellow. When the wires change into these section down here, becomes different color codes again. So you've got like a light grey with a red trace, that's your negative, and you got this other one that's like a light green black trace, and that's your positive. And over here, this one here, you got yellow only, and that's your negative, and then you got the yellow one with red trace, and that's your positive. And that will fold the mirror out or in to its point that's in the mirror itself, has the metal sections that won't allow it to turn any further than that distance. If you was to put power, and this works, if you was to put power only to the outside, then you're running power directly to the motor and not through those little metal parts. So you can test the mirror motor by putting power to just the outside. And if you can control the mirror with them two, and I'll show you, so that's, I'll just do it this way. So I've got the wrong way around, that's what the fold in. And you'll hear it when it stops. That's all the way folded in, automatically stops. Now folding out. And automatically stops. So I know this mirror is working perfectly fine how it should. And the wiring changes again when it gets to the mirror inside. So to test this, let's work this out. So the outside one here is red trace, and that one there, yellow. So if you wanted to test, if the mirror's not working but you wanted to test if the motor inside is still good. Yeah. So it's the two inside ones, isn't it? No, 2 outside ones, that's right. Sorry, just don't want to bum steers. But this way, if you keep it connected, so you can't do that because it's not going to automatically stop. It needs to be the 2 on the outside, positive on the middle, on the inside, and that will fold it one way, and the 2 on this side here will fold it the other way. But you can just put positive and negative polarity, you know, to fold the mirror in or out by using those 2 wires. But if that's the way it works and it doesn't work on those, on these 2 or these 2, then you know that the mirror itself, the mechanism inside, the little metal pieces, I've made a blog about it, so I'll put that in the description. The metal pieces, they break off from these little tiny plastic clips, and you can repair it by using a bit of epoxy, but you need to pull it apart, so I'll put that in the description. You can look at that bit. Okay, so now we've got this part here sorted out. I'm only going to have 2 wires that come to this from the mirror controller that polarities both ways, and that's no good just putting it on 2 of these, because it does a 5-second turn and the mirrors only need 3 seconds. So that's too long for the mirror. So when you're closing it, fair enough, you can have that little bit of a clink clink when you're closing it, nobody really cares. But when opening it, it'll open almost all the way the other way, and that's the problem. So you need the mirror control box. I'll put that in the description as well of the one that I'm using. It's only a $20 one, but I've tested it already and it works quite well. So what I'm going to do here is, because like I said, I'm only going to have 2 wires coming to here that's going to be doing polarities. So I need to work out here how to make it so that's going to work. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a diode in line here between these 2 wires and the diode over here. So one way it's going to allow the power feed through, the other way it's going to block it, but it's going to have an earth. And I'm hoping that I had the camera pointing in the right spot the whole time I was talking just then. So I'll get onto the diode section and then I'll show you that. Okay, just showing you here. Just put a little bit of a twisted wire diagram together here. So you can't see the diodes facing, I don't think, from there. But these are only 1 amp diodes. Diodes. I'm going to be putting 3 amp diodes in. So once this is in, I don't have to come back here. So this one here is allowing power to pass. That's power. That's power. The 2 middle ones and earths. So that one's allowing power to pass. This one allows power to pass. This one allows a return, and the other earth allows return. But this is going to stop power going to the earth, and that one will stop power going to the earth. And this one will also on a return. This will stop power coming on a return when I'm supplying power. So how it works is, now I've got all the diodes here. I might have just explained that bit wrong, so I'll draw a diagram on that. To do this, and it works, I've had to put directional diodes in, so I can say, alright, this is when power goes one way, I'm directing which power goes where, so you can see that. Let's put that around. This will close the window. And the other way will open the window. Close. Open. So that's how I make that 4 wires into a 2 wire setup, so I can use this power folding mirror ECU that I got. Now that being said and done, now I can come along here and I'm going to solder some 3 amp diodes in place and get 2 wires hanging off, and then I need to feed 2 wires through the door here. I've taken the cover plate off just to show you this. You'll have to take the 10mm fastener out from there, and you can see where there's a rubber grommet that you can get into past the firewall there and inside the car, which comes up, which you can't see right now, but it comes up in underneath there. So I'll get to soldering this, putting the wires together, and I'll take it from there, next step. So that's it there, and that's working. Now these are not shrunk on, I'm just doing that to hold them in place. Now I just need to put some heat shrink on that and finish off the ends here. So this is where I'm up to so far. Got it down to 2 wires and tested, and that's how I've soldered and heat shrinked the wires there. I'm going to use a bit more heat shrink to go over the top of all of them completely, and then another one to finish it off and make it all look good. Okay, so that's it completed there. You can see why I didn't want to use those 1 amp diodes now, because once I do the job, that's it. I'm trying to get these wires in with just one hand. There we go. So it's closing. And it's opening, and that's it. So that's working on the 2 wires, cross priority. Now I just need to run the other wires through. It's starting to get into the day though. It's 6:30 in the afternoon, and the sun's gonna disappear soon. So might be a job for tomorrow. Anyway, I'll continue from then. I can show you what I mean now by getting access behind underneath here. Take the vent out, take the plastic part here out. They just fly out, there's nothing really to it. And then when you get into here, there's a plastic, or rubber grommet I should say, right there. And you can see that's where I've come through with other wires. So that's pretty easy to access. Is you just got to take those 2 pieces out, and you've got pretty easy access to here. And once you've taken that bolt there out, or you can take the wiring forward to about, I don't know, not too far, but between the guard and the door, easy enough to work with. And yeah, that's pretty much easy access there too. Here's what I mean here. So undo that 10mm bolt, and you can bring the wires out, separate them from the clips. Little bit of maneuvering about, but once you get to that point, you can get this section here fairly straight, so it makes it easier to get the wires through. I'm going to run another lead through here for basically cutting up a bit of power, 240 volt line. I'm going to feed that through, and I'll give you a look. Okay, so this is it here, and to make it easier, I should have done this the first time, but now lessons learnt. You take the rubber off this end here, and take the tape back here. You can actually unfold this bit of plastic to get access to here, and then you can get that boot fairly straight. I didn't even need a guide wire, I just poked my new wire through there, and this will tidy up nicely there. There was enough room there, and I've got plenty wire to go over here. I've got my 3 wires, 3rd wire being that on the new one of these that I'm putting in has a retract button, so I need that 3rd wire for the retract. But so far so good, it's coming along easy. So getting this boot here back on this plastic part was proving to be a challenge. Now the easiest thing to do is just got this clip here, get a screwdriver in this angle here, and just push against that clip. That plastic part comes out easy, and makes life a lot easier to get that boot part back on. But it's a future reference, probably don't even take this boot section off part from the plastic, just get a screwdriver in, push that clip there, and let the whole thing come out and let it stay intact. That'll be the easiest way to do that part there. So this is just a future reference too. I can come back to this video and remind myself of how I did this part. Alright, as you can see, I need to do a fair bit of wiring yet, but lock. So again, go lock and unlock. Again, lock and unlock. And also, if I've locked it, I've come along and unlock my car here. Yeah, unlock the car by key, that unlocks. And when I press that retract button, which will happen while I'm in the car, if I'm in, hit the retract button, turn the ignition. As soon as it goes into accessories, voila. So that's it. So I just need to finish up all that wiring now, but and like if you're going this far yourself, then you should know what you're doing down there at the wiring. I don't need to give anybody any lessons on how to do wiring. That's it. I just need to do the same to the other side now. So thanks for watching, guys. Cheering with that.